Now that we've come in for a landing, when internauts are online, what's their favorite activity?
Now, I bet that's a rhetorical question, and now you're just going to have to tell us, right?
That's what I'm here for. You can do a lot of different things on the internet, but more than anything else, people use it for electronic mail, or email for short. Email consists of messages sent through a computer, and on the internet, you can send email to the millions of people who have internet addresses. This includes people who have accounts with commercial services such as CompuServe, America Online, Prodigy, Delphi, and the like.
In order to send mail, you have to first understand internet addresses, which are based on the domain naming system. Let's show you what we found when we went out with our camera. The abbreviated word on the right, GOV, means this is part of what's called a government domain. NASA is a subdomain, as is JSC, which stands for Johnson Space Center. Now see how the words are separated by a period or dot. Now notice that the name on the left is separated from the rest by an @ symbol. That's the username. Sometimes people use their real names as usernames, and sometimes they use nicknames, like astronaut. COM means this is part of the commercial domain, either a business that's directly on the net or a provider of internet access for business people. In this case, IECC is the company providing access to the net. Another domain you'll see on the net is EDU for education. It's used by faculty, students, and administrators at educational institutions.
And if you send mail overseas, you'll find that addresses usually contain a 2-letter abbreviation for the country, such as TN for Tunisia, or UK for the United Kingdom.
Now, email has several advantages over regular mail, or snail mail as the internauts like to call it. One of the biggest advantages is that messages reach their destinations, what we call electronic mailboxes, almost instantaneously. Let me show you. Now, I can bring up my mail here, and you can see I have a message from a coworker who wants to see if there's a day next week I can fly in for the budget review meeting. Well, I hate budgeting, and so I better reply right away. I can do that just by clicking on this reply button here. And I'm going to make up some sort of excuse. Sorry, I have the flu. Maybe he'll buy it. Now, I can also insert information from his message so he'll remember what I'm talking about. You see include original, and put it right here, and I can send it along. And he should be getting it right about now. Now he knows when I want to meet with him, which is definitely not next week or anytime soon, and it all happened within a minute or two, even though he's in New Jersey and I'm here in Texas.
If other coworkers need to see that message, you can, with just a few clicks or keystrokes, send it on to them. Or maybe you want to send the same message to a number of people. That is no problem. And you can attach computer files to your notes so you could forward a lengthy letter without having to retype it.
That means that email really is much more efficient than regular mail or faxes. But there is one thing we should point out, and that is that your computer screen may look a lot different from what we've shown you here. We've shown you screens that use color and graphics, but many services on the internet are text-based and may just appear in black and white, like this screen we're showing you here. It really all depends on who's providing your internet access and on what software you're using. The internet has many different looks, but whatever the screen, the concepts are more or less the same.
Let's look in a little more detail at what's involved in sending and receiving electronic mail. I've switched to my mailbox here, and what do you know, here's a message from Doug. So I'll click on the View button here, light up this message, and it says, Gina says she's too sick to come to the meeting. Can you come instead? Well, how about that? So now I specifically click on Reply. It's addressed it. It says to D. Evans, which is his electronic mail address. It has a topic about the budget meeting. So now I'll just type in an answer. I'll see how she feels tomorrow. I don't have to sign it. It automatically puts my return address on it. So I send it. But before I do anything else, let's just take a quick look and think, Gina didn't look so sick. I'll make a new message here and send it to her. So I have to address this one specifically. It goes to Gina. Then I have to set a subject. How sick are you? and type in a message here. Doug says you called in sick. You looked okay kayaking yesterday. Before I send this off, I want to make one more change. I'm going to send a copy of it to myself to keep a copy for my files. Set that. So now I've set it, I'm sending it to Gina, sending a copy to myself, set the subject, and send it off. So that's really all there is to sending electronic mail. It's as simple as that.
People like email because it changes the way they communicate for the better. In West Virginia, junior high students in the small and isolated town of Harts used email on the internet to get help with challenging science projects.
The students love the internet. They love to communicate to people all over the country, all over the world.
8th graders in Carol O'Connell's class at Harts Junior-Senior High participated in a program called Science by Electronic Mail that was sponsored by the Marshall University School of Medicine. They conducted experiments with the help of scientific mentors who had agreed to communicate with the students by email and to provide guidance.
Even if you're in a big city, how many times do you meet an astrophysicist that you can talk to about black holes or talk to about their research and find out what they do? And the mentorship was wonderful because they found out, yes, these people are real people. They just went to school, they have an education, and they're working on something important in their lives, and I can do this too.
In one project, the students measured blood pressure of male and female students at the school. They sent their results by email to the faculty and a medical student at Marshall University School of Medicine in Huntington, West Virginia. The medical professionals checked the results and then provided feedback via the internet. At the completion of the study, the students learned that their female subjects had slightly higher blood pressure rates. But for many students, the most significant thing they learned was how to communicate over the internet. The students also struck up friendships with other students as far away as Austria and New Zealand via electronic mail on the internet. Susan Demasquita, who helped lead the program, saw other benefits as well.
Working with these young people brought a lot of satisfaction in that, in a small way, hopefully I encouraged some children to seriously consider being a scientist or a physician or an engineer.
And some children in this rather isolated part of our nation got a glimpse of a wider world.
Most people use the internet for communications, but that can mean a lot more than just emailing messages to friends.